Board of the Champion Hurdle, the Mares Hurdle. Adele, I'll come to you first. Give you the prices. Of course, we're not absolutely certain what's going to line up. Honeysuckle 3.75, Epatante 5.7, Brandy Love is 6.8, Echoes in Rain is 9.0, Marie's Rock are possible for the stayers. We might have an angle in on there, 9.2, Love Envoy or Love Envoi 11.5, 17.5, and bigger the rest. So Del Mulrennan, take it away.
Oh, we're not quite sure where Marie's Rock's going. I mean, ideally, from an owner's point of view, we'd like to think she'd go back for the mares and win the race that she won last year. But what I kind of gathered from the bit of work that happened at Kempton yesterday when Epatante worked was Henderson's initial reactions were he was going to keep them separate and Epatante was going to go for the mares and Marie's Rock was going to go for the stayers. So either way, I'm going to go with the Henderson horse. So Epatante, if she goes, you know what you're getting with her. She's ultra professional. I mean, she literally looks as good as ever this season. Her only defeats at the hands of Constitution Hill, who is an absolute monster. Like, he's broke 2 track records, one in the Supreme and then at Newcastle in fighting 5th. So, like, you can forgive her for that. Nice to see her get her confidence back at Doncaster. And if Marie's Rock lines up, again, I just, we know what she can do. I do think she does look better over a bit further. So ideally, I was thinking she might go for the stays, and that does look like a bit more of an open contest. Obviously, if they both line up, then I'll go for Epatante. Sorry,
Thanks.
Ralph.
Yeah, sorry, Ralph. And they may well both line up, but whether Henderson wants that, we'll see. Anybody else in that camp? Charlie, you are, aren't you, with Epatante?
Yeah, I think reading between the lines, this is where she will end up, and yeah, very much so. For all the reasons Adele said, really, she was very good on the last start, and there's no disgrace in chasing home Constitution Hill twice this year. She's solid festival form, former champion hurdle winner, and this is a corking race though in its own right. As in for anyone that's an advocate of these mares races being at the festival, this is a strong case in point of why they should be there. It's a really good race, and I respect Honeysuckle, Brandy Love, and a few of the others. But if Epatante turns up, I'd be very much firmly with her.
Yeah, not just that, but you could argue that it's ultimately the champion hurdle is better for there being a mares program, because mares have won so many of the last few renewals. Okay, Donn, is your selection heart or head?
It's a no bet for me, but yeah, a lot of heart, I'd say, Tom. Yeah, but this could be a hell of a race. If Epatante runs, if Marie's Rock runs, which, yeah, you kind of imagine that Marie's Rock the last couple of days, or yesterday, it looked like she was going for the stairs, and they had mentioned the stairs before. Brandy Love, Echoes in Rain, Love and What, Queen's Brook, even like Queen's Brook beat Anna Benigna, and Brandy Love the last day. She's got Cheltenham Festival form. She finished 3rd in a champion bumper. She finished 2nd in the Mares Hurdle last year. Only just gave best to Marie's Rock close home. She traded odds on in running, and she was good the last day. So she's interesting at a bigger price. But I know Honeysuckle, you just love to see her going and winning it. It's you just love to see her going, and she's rated to win it. If she arrives there in the form that she was in last year, or even close to it, she's going to take all the beating. And yeah, I suppose it's a lot of heart, Tom, but I think head as well. I think she's the right favourite for the race.
Matt, I'll come to you, and you can answer Helen's question. She says, with ex-champ hurdlers in this, do the trends struggle?
I think that's a really good question, Helen. I don't think that there are many trends for this race generally, and it's partly to do with exactly that. When this first started, yeah, Quivega was running the ground against vastly inferior horses, very predictable. Now it's got a much deeper race. So, yeah, not something I'd be looking at trends for at all here.
Who are you with?
Well, I've got a strategy here, and I've got a question for the guys. What price do we think Honeysuckle goes off if all the major players line up here? Anyone want to make a guess?
Well, she goes off. She goes off. 3.5. 1-2 favourite.
4.0.
Oh shit!
And so, what is she now on the Matchbook Exchange?
That's a good question. I've just read it out. What is she, producer Dan? We've had Shane says 4.0, 3.0 Peter's punts, 5.2 Alex, 4.0 Helen, a few more coming in. I'm not sure what I've just read out what she is currently, and I haven't got it up in front of me now. But
right. So the point of my question was, a lot of people are saying that she'll go off roughly the same sort of price. Some a bit shorter, some say she'll drift, probably depending on their own view of her chances. I think there's going to be an absolute wall of money for her post-declaration. There'll be a huge amount of sentimentality going on here. When you've got a high-profile horse like this, the trainers are almost obliged at this stage of their career to say they're working the houses down at home. And so what I think will happen is in the last 2 or 3 days, she'll shorten up a lot. So I'm going for a back-to-lay strategy. Back her now, lay her there on the day, get your stake money, and then look at what's in the race, because the two I'm most interested in, Marie's Rock and Echoes in Rain, aren't certain runners. So I'll have a look at it again, hopefully with that stake money at that stage.
Okay, so she's 3.75 now. We know where she's running. And let's say they all don't turn up, then she's definitely going to be shorter. So
I honestly think if most, Marie's Rock and Epatante, I think one of those will run. But even if the rest of them turn up, I think she'll go off about 2.5, 2.7.
Which is, well, that's Alex's quote on what he thinks she'll go off. Interesting. All right. And who haven't we come to? Deasy, you're looking a bit further away.
Yeah, I'm putting up my second potential man-runner in a row. I thought She Wears It Well is a very big price. I don't know what she favoured for this at one stage last year, or was it the Mayor's Novice? But she's always been kind of highly touted, and I think it just took her a while to get the hang of it. And this year, no, she is qualified for the Pretemps. She ran her first one, she ran in a Pretemps qualifier, won it fairly well, and she beat Queensbrook then over Christmas in receipt of a few pounds. But she's going to be nearly top weight in the Pretemps. There's decent prize money in this, and as we said, no, I just think she's vastly overpriced. I think she's 18.0, so I definitely have a little win place betting her in this, because William Mullins mares can produce shocks, and it's a pick 'em between the top three. I hope Marie's Rock goes for this, but as I said, if it's heavy ground on the first day, that'll probably go against her. But I'm gonna go for just probably a bigger price one at the moment. She Wears It Well.
27.0. She Wears It Well. I think Peter's Punts agrees with you. That's our grade